Harmonizers, we just finished Valente's first bath. I had no idea how he was going to be, but he is standing behind me fully bathed, and I can't wait to show you just how this kind of little process went. So enjoy. All right, so we're getting started, and I've got things set up for success where he is got his bucket of food there, and I thought before I spray him with the water, I'm just spraying the bucket and just kind of letting water come out of the bucket, kind of introducing the concept of what the hose is going to be. And I don't have him confined in the barn space in the wash stall area. Instead, I've got him just outside of the barn. It's a pretty long hose, so it reaches. And then I thought, you know, Valiente can be pretty flighty, so at least this way, if he does do something, he's not going to get caught up in anything to hurt himself, and it's a pretty big flight area there. So what I'm doing to start with is just giving him a little bit of spray, letting him realize that it's not going to kill him, and then offering him some release and offering him some opportunity to eat from his little bucket. I don't want to be like the moment he goes to eat out of the bucket, spray him with the water, because that might make him distrustful of the food bucket. So instead I spray off to the side and then spray him. I want to make sure that he has an opportunity to eat his food sometimes too. So you can see he's a little upset there. And I don't want to necessarily stop spraying him because I don't want him to think that it's going to hurt him. But you can see I'm only holding the rope with one hand, and I'm not like in a power position or anything holding on to him. So he's not, although he's pulling against the rope there, he wasn't pulling like that bad against it. And so one of the things that can happen is if you let the horse just kind of pull away from you when something potentially scary happens, and you're not able to show them that it doesn't actually hurt or that it's not actually bad, then sometimes they can have a much bigger fear in there because it's kind of the fear of the unknown. So here, this is kind of cute. He's actually like seeing if he can eat the water a little bit coming out of the hose, and he was playing with it a little bit there. So that's a good sign that he's starting to realize that it's an okay thing. And you can see he's watching me pretty carefully, and he's trying to sniff it there. And I have to be careful because I don't want him to get water up his nose, so that would potentially hurt him. So when he does get a little bit too close and cuddly with the nozzle of the hose there, then I stop spraying because I want to be careful that I keep it a good experience for him. So I spray him for a little bit, and then he's standing really nicely, so I bring him up to the little area before, and if he kind of startles like that, I hold a little bit of pressure on the rope, just trying to hold him in relatively the same spot. But again, you can see I'm just holding it with one arm, so it's not really that big of a deal. And I'm pretty happy with how quickly he is trusting the hose and is okay with it, because he's been very flighty in the past. So this is really good progress here. And the nice thing about it is he's staying with us in the present. Like he's not freezing into a sympathetic nervous system stance where, and by that I mean like a fight or flight stance. Some horses freeze instead, and because he's still like flicking his ears around and he's able to eat, he's able to stay kind of in a learning state of mind. I apologize, I'm a little out of frame there for a second, and I'm just spraying him on the other side there. And you can see he's definitely watching me, like he's definitely aware of what is going on. But he's not looking like panicked, and he's still got his front feet kind of close together, which means that he's not super freaked out. So what I did here is I put the video into 4 times the speed, just because otherwise it was going to be a super long video, because I think his whole bath was somewhere around like close to half an hour or so, and I didn't want to make it take forever, but I wanted to show you kind of the whole process a little bit so you could see what I did, but this will speed things through a much better. So after he was completely rinsed off and I was happy with that, I've basically just letting him eat his munchies while I'm giving him a sponge off. So first up, I'm using shampoo with a sponge. I'm using the Espana Silk, which is an all-natural grooming products that they do.
And you can see he fidgets around a little bit, but for the most part, he's just kind of standing there and he's letting me do my thing. And so once I kind of fully lather him up in the shampoo, right now I'm using a rubber curry comb to really kind of scrub in, and I'm trying to remove, he still has some of those kind of thick mats of like the Mustangs, they get these like real clumps of kind of muddy dirt crud all kind of stuck in them, and most of it had come off because he's been outside in the warm temperatures and we've had a little bit of rain, and so that's helped a little bit, but he still has some kind of on his belly underside. Plus he has like really bad dandruff, and every time I groom him I feel like it's never ending. So I'm trying to really get in there, give him a really good scrub, and I don't like to pull off those kind of mud clumpy things because, you know, that hurts a little bit. So I'm doing the best I can to kind of curry them a little bit, and then I'll actually use scissors after he's done his bath for any ones that I still couldn't manage to get out. And you might be wondering, well, why did you wait so long to give him his first bath? Well, when he first came down and we had some beautiful hot weather, he was not ready to do something like a bath. He's too, was too flighty, too nervous, and I didn't want to get like partway into something and not be able to finish it. So I just thought it wasn't the right time to do that with him. And then the next part was after I got back from Canada from my visit home, we actually had a stint of kind of cooler weather. And so I wanted his first bath experience to be very positive. I wanted him to be ready for it mentally, but I also wanted physically for it to be pretty comfortable for him. So I wanted to wait for a nice hot day where also my parents could babysit in the afternoon, because normally I come out first thing in the morning to the barn at like 8 a.m., just after 8, and temperatures in Florida usually are pretty cool in the morning and then they get really hot in the afternoon. So I was finally able to get out in the afternoon and come up and do this. So at least it's set up for success where he would be more willing, because it's, feeling pretty nice for him. He's getting a little massage along the way. So he stood really good for all that rubbing, and now we were rinsing off. And I just changed the camera angle. I didn't want to film from this vantage point from the whole time in case he ran into the camera and knocked it over, because I didn't know how he was going to react to all of this. But you can see for the most part, he's just ground tying and just standing like a super good boy, just kind of being there. So I'm really, really happy. Like every so often he moves or he's not too sure and I kind of bring him back up again. But for the most part, look at him. He's just standing there ground tied. I'm getting into his legs and scrubbing everything off. He wasn't so sure about me going up his bum there, rinsing off his bum. But I'm kind of scraping really good with my hand, trying to get all those little chunky pieces, make sure they're all off there, getting really in there. You want to make sure you don't leave any shampoo in your horse at all. So I scrub a fair bit, rub a lot off of him. And then for his face, I didn't want to just spray him with the hose, so I put it on my hand first to kind of let him have a feel for that, and then was able to even spray his face a little bit. So I'm really, really happy with him. Here I just slowed the video down to normal motion again for you guys. But I was pleasantly surprised. I don't know what you guys thought it was going to be like for his first bath. I'd love to hear your comments on what you thought it was going to be like and then how you think it actually went. All right, thanks for watching, guys.